Hello to all my Dharma brothers and sisters at Choe Khor Sum Ling. Alma and the director asked me to make a short video to send out to all of you. So this is my attempt at that. Yeah, I'm here with Venerable Namjong at I my house in Sera Monastery. We're in quite strict lockdown, just confined to our house except for essential shopping, but we're doing well. Yeah, and you can many of you we've met online through Zoom programs in the last year and in the last months also. So yeah, during this wave of the pandemic, it's probably the worst the COVID-19 pandemic has been in India so far, and yeah, it's very sad to see so many people getting sick every day, so many people dying, so many people suffering the loss of a loved one. Um, And yeah, this is a time I think it naturally compels us all to reflect on the meaning of life. When we see so much death, then um, and especially so much unexpected suffering, where things seem kind of out of control. It's important not to lose hope. One, and then it's important also to reflect on what are the causes that have brought this situation about, and then of those causes, what are the ones that we can do something about and prevent, so we can prevent something like this happening in the future, and in the short term that we can do whatever we can to bring this very sad chapter in the world, in the life of India also, to an end. um, and then of course, I mean, in that vein, and then also, what are the causes, what are the things we can do to create causes for more well-being and happiness in the future for ourselves and others. So, of course, I mean, this is the main way that the Buddha taught us to think about things, to see things as dependent arisings, and try to understand the process of dependent origination, and then with that wisdom act in the most beneficial way possible. Right? So, of course, in the short term, the things to do are more have to do with science and medicine, and Buddhism doesn't have so much to say about that, except to try to follow the reasoning of science and medicine. So, like in terms of the vaccine, I'd encourage you all to take the vaccine, unless you have some compelling, extremely compelling and well proven reason not to, for your own benefit and also for the benefit of others, right? So that we can stop the spread of this disease. But in a spiritual sense, then, and when we look at our own situation, as you have all heard me say many times, I'm sure that every instance of our own suffering comes from causes that we've created, right? So causes comes from negative karma that we've created through harming others in the past. So when we look at the suffering um, that we ourselves are experiencing, whether it's anxiety or fear or just some kind of frustration, then realize that all comes about through our having caused um, those kinds of emotions, those kinds of miserable experiences to arise in the minds of others in the past, and thereby, by seeing that, then we can reassert our determination to not do anything that harms others in the future, and rather do what we can to benefit others, right? Because, well, we want others to benefit us first of all, and simply because it helps them, and we want others to be well and happy, um, and then also because that's the way that we also receive benefit in the future, and thereby we can be in a better position to help others more in the future. Um, and then when we think, see others suffering so much, it's easy to kind of feel frustrated and go into a place of hopelessness. But we have to be careful not to do that, and rather to remember that it's not that there's everything just comes to an end in the future, right? Our own mental continuum and existence just goes on and on and on. So the only thing, the only reasonable response is to do what we can, right, to reduce the causes of suffering and to increase the causes of happiness and well-being. So when we see others suffering, the best response is compassion, whereby we empathize, imagine what it must be like to be in that situation ourselves, and then think of what would we find most beneficial ourselves if we were in that situation. So there's no doubt that when we feel that others care about us, they're concerned about us, they're wishing for the best for us, that definitely helps, right? So then we need to try to generate that kind of concern for the well-being of others, but ultimately to lead all sentient beings to freedom from the oceans of suffering and samsara. We need to be able to show them how to do that, to teach them, to show them the way to be free from all suffering. And to do that, we have to have that experience ourselves. So we have to free ourselves from samsara, and then we have to have the mind knowing exactly how to explain, how to inspire, how to lead each sentient being to freedom from suffering. So look at how beneficial one person's activities can be, like the activities of the Buddha or His Holiness the Dalai Lama or Mahatma Gandhi or Jesus or so many other spiritually um, enlightened masters who have arisen in the world, beings who have arisen in the world. So we need to try to become like that, and for that purpose, then we need like-minded friends. We need a community with which to discuss things, to do practices in general, to learn from, and to support us. So that's why also, the center, Dharma center, is extremely important, really invaluable, because the relationships and the friendships we form through a Dharma community, like the community of brothers and sisters at Choe Khor Sum Ling, is something that supports us in a unique way that our family and other friends don't, right? Because we share our practice of the Dharma together. So I'd encourage you all to participate in the meditation and prayer and teaching sessions that we're holding online, and then and so that when these lockdowns let up and it becomes safe to gather together in person again, then again we can still have a very active and coherent community. And I encourage you, as brothers and sisters in Dharma, to reach out to one another through messaging or phone calls, and just ask each other how you're doing and help each other in whatever way we can. And then finally, I'd like to thank Aman, the director, and also all the trustees, Shanti Gopanath and Bharat and Randakar, and others for supporting, and all the sponsors of the center who are continuing to enable the center to be able to pay rent during the pandemic. So all of those, it's many, all of those people and others acting together that enables the center to stay together as an organization, and make it ensure that it's possible that after the pandemic is over, or as the lockdowns and things let up, we can have the space to gather together and practice in person again. Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to, I have no idea when, but to coming to Bangalore again in person to see you all again. So remember, don't give up hope, and really try to put the Dharma into practice, and try to stay connected with your extended Dharma family. Okay, thank you.